Welcome to the Work Wives and Real Lives podcast. I'm Katie.
And I'm Ava. We're two best friends and coworkers spilling the tea on business, boundaries, and all the beautiful chaos in between.
From workday wins to real life messes, we're talking through it all.
Unfiltered, unpolished, and always putting friendship first.
Think of it as your weekly catch up with your favorite coworker turned soul sister.
So grab your coffee
or your wine
and let's get into it.
Stunning.
What is up, Work Wife fam? It's your besties, your wife besties, Katie and Ava. We're back from a hiatus that was unplanned, but you know, life happens, and if you know, you know. Okay,
we
every
try week and almost every day we would tell Emma, because she always asks when you get Emma on the pod.
Yes.
She always asks when we're posting, so she knows when to plan new content. And we were every week has it been 3 weeks or 2 weeks?
I was trying to go back into time because I was reflecting on my last few weeks, and I think it's been about almost a month or 3 weeks.
Cute. But yeah, we were like, we promise we're filming this week and we're filming this day. And
then it wouldn't happen.
And then life happened. I think the last time we filmed was the last week of January, because that was right after the Scottsdale trip. And I feel like we filmed one more week after that, because then there was a follow-up about the Uber Waymo story.
Yes.
Anyway, but we're here. Schedules were not aligning. Sicknesses happened. We were tired.
Illness happened. And then I was trying to think what happened after the illness. We had a friend visit Tennessee, and so
I was in New York.
Yes, you were in New York. Yeah. And then I came to California, and then we went to Utah. The thing is, Katie said it perfectly when we were together, is we just want to enjoy time together.
Yeah, it feels like work, and it is.
It does.
You know what? We're professionals. But no, we were talking all weekend about filming. We were together for like a week. A little over a week. Every night we were just like, we don't want to film right now. We just want to hang out.
We just want to be friends.
I enjoy that when we get to do the podcast and we're not together, because it literally is like our time to catch up. So
yeah,
we didn't film. We hung out and we made memories, and you got to koala me. We'll talk about that.
It was a beautiful moment. One I'm holding on to forever. But
as you should.
Let's jump into, first let's talk about what we're talking about.
Yeah.
What to expect from this episode. So we're talking about leadership styles and what's not a leadership style, what is, what works, what doesn't work, what we've personally experienced. You know, some people have high standards or just high cortisol, and we're going to unpack it all.
Some people get high anxiety from other people's high standards. So, you know, right there.
Present me. That is I.
Yeah. We're going to talk about it. And then we're going to have our weekend update, our dramatic email reading. We've got a banger for you today. Joe Badeau said it best. He was asking, your brother asked this, right?
Yeah.
Not really Joe Badeau, but we know Joe Badeau. Biggest fan, second biggest fan after Daddy Bang, I'm thinking.
All Joes.
He's a Joe too. Oh my gosh. Joes. Maybe that should be the name of our fan club.
The Joes.
The Joes. The Joes and their wives. Anyway. I have a lot of customer service stories that are good. Yeah, yes. They've been following me. And I don't have any new ones, I don't think, today. So,
which is good. We're going to stay as is. Yeah. Okay. When I was in California, my brother, Joe Badeau, brought up how he's never heard of anyone have so many customer service issues than Katie.
Probably my karma for like snapping back at the terrible customers that I've been on the receiving end from, but whatever.
It's not.
I am on a customer service related front. I have big news.
Let's hear it.
Tomorrow, I am flying to Northern California for work, and I'm on Southwest, and there's assigned seating, and it is a big day for me, people, because my social anxiety out the window.
Wow. I'm so excited for you. Are you Wait, they don't do group A. It's just like 1 through what?
I don't know how they're boarding. Assume it. So let me just take a look at my boarding pass and see if there's something telling on there. I didn't
Yeah.
read the information on how to board. I'm assuming I'm just going to get yelled at the gate. They have groups. I'm group 1.
Stunning.
Stunning.
Love.
Yeah, what's nice about my work is that because we only fly to Northern California on Southwest, they have a partnership with Southwest, and so they gift certain amount of A-list status to employees, um, and because I'm one of the regular flyers, because my region is Northern California, I got, A-list status, so I get, like, all these free
Love.
upgrades and stuff. It's stunning.
She's on the
Anyway,
frequent flyer. Love
in
that.
another flight update, big news if you live in Orange County. Um,
Oh, yes, yes, yes. I know.
Delta is starting a direct flight from Orange County to JFK, which praise. And I, over the weekend, booked the inaugural flight. I am on the very first flight, knock on wood, that
Yeah.
there ever will be. Terrible flight times, might I add. So there's one a day each way. I'm hoping they improve it. The one out is a red eye, so it leaves at 9 p.m. And then the one back leaves at 8 a.m. from JFK. So not great times. But you know what? We're going with it. I don't have to drive up to LAX. I don't have to take a connecting flight because God knows we're not doing that again.
No.
And we're going to try it out. I'm excited.
Anything to not be at LAX is
A
truly
win.
a win.
Yeah.
Truly. Well, other big flight news is Knoxville Airport is getting Southwest in T-minus 1 or 2 days. So it's only flying to like specific cities. I think Nashville, which is so funny. It'll be like a 15-minute flight.
Yeah, right? Isn't it like a 2-hour drive?
Yeah, it's about like a 2.5 hour drive, but
Mm.
then you go into a different time zone. Orlando, there's one in Texas. There's somewhere else it goes, but it's like very random stuff. Things that will not serve me. Maybe Orlando, but
Orlando. Yeah.
yeah.
Start small, we can
Yeah.
build.
Yeah, but they're building. Things are happening. Um, I'm just gonna put it out into the ether, into the universe. We need a direct flight from Knoxville to Orange County. I will
Mm-hmm.
even I will even swallow having to go to LAX if that's the case.
Yeah,
There's
you need a direct
so
flight.
many Southern Californians in Knoxville now, so
Oh, it's random.
I don't see why not.
Last plug for flight routes to Orange County, Orlando. If you know me, you know Amy, our little Disney family.
Loving the magic, Amy.
I am going to Orlando like 3 or 4 times this year, and because I'm not doing a direct or a connecting flight again, I have to go up to LAX. Breeze Airlines does have a direct flight from Orange County, and I actually do really like Breeze, um, from Orange County to Orlando, but they only run it 3 months out of the year during the summer, and it's like, I'm not trying to go to Disney World when it's 5,000 degrees out, and it's
No.
packed. So,
Terrible.
Breeze or Delta, please get a direct flight next on the wish list.
Thank you.
Thank you for hearing us out.
We expect to see this in the works in the next 6 months. 3 to
I think
6 months we'll give you.
that's fair.
Yeah,
I think that's
that's
really
only
fair.
fair.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
on that note of travel and all things flying airlines, let's chat about what what we did last week. I can't remember anything beyond last week. So,
Truly
unless you have any
not.
updates.
I mean, just a general summary of the month. We
Yes,
filmed
February.
and then something happened that next weekend, don't know what. And then I was in New York with my family and Kelsey and Jason, and that was lovely. Very
Got to
cold.
see Chicago. You got to see our girl
Yeah.
Whitney Levitt.
Yes, we got to see Chicago. She was stunning. I've actually never seen that show, so It was amazing. Like, the whole cast was incredible, but
It's
Whitney's
so
really
good.
good, and people, like, that were dragging her, whatever, she's actually a really talented performer, and she's a star, and she's gonna be on Broadway or something forever.
She's truly the epitome of a star. So
Yeah,
everyone just back
be
off.
quiet. Back off.
Back
Don't come
off.
for our girl.
Don't come for our girl.
Speaking of which, reality update at the end, we need to talk about the Salt Lake, Real House bleh, Secret Lives of Mormon Wives trailer.
Yes. Yes,
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 it dropped.
yes. It did drop.
Um, yeah, otherwise we just kind of like hung out. I went on a tour of vodka pasta. It's my favorite type of
Mm.
pasta. So I had 4 different ones, I think, throughout the weekend.
Ooh,
Um, yeah.
I
La
love.
Pecora Bianca is my favorite. They put a giant mound of burrata cheese right on the top, and then oh, it was just such creamy goodness. Arthur and Sons is really good. We did the Stardust Cafe, which kind of aspiring
It's
Broadway stars or
quite an
waiters.
experience.
It was. And some of them were much better than others. I will
Yes.
just say that.
Yes.
But they had a vodka pasta there, and I wasn't expecting at that was the first restaurant we ate at, and I wasn't necessarily expecting to order that because it's kind of
It's like
American
diner.
dinery-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it actually was shockingly good. Um,
I love that.
and then we went somewhere else. I
What
got vodka
is
pasta.
your favorite pizza in New York?
Don't really eat pizza there. I eat pasta.
That's
If I have a choice between
criminal.
pasta and pizza, I'm going to eat pasta every day.
My God. I mean, pasta. Pasta
I
is
like Joe's
probably,
Pizza. I've had Joe's,
yeah,
and I think
Joe's is
that's really
good.
good.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I
That's a
literally
good one.
don't if I get pizza, it's because we got in at, like, 10 p.m. at night, and we're just trying to get something really fast, and I'll go to, like, whatever's closest to the hotel.
Ugh, nothing I loved more than being a child. And when I lived there, I thought I was like an adult. I was a child.
Well,
I was a
you grew up
child.
fast.
I did grow up very fast, especially being in the city so much. But um, my favorite thing to do, Sundays were my days off. And so Saturday night, if I couldn't go to sleep, I would just at like 2 a.m. go across the street to Bleecker Street Pizza and get me a good slice and eat it while I walked back to my apartment. It was beautiful.
There is one time I was there with Kelsey, and this was probably, like, maybe right before COVID or maybe it was after COVID, I don't remember, but we thought we were still cute and young, and so we tried to go to Mr. Purple. It was either Mr. Purple or yeah, I think it was Mr. Purple. I think it's in the Lower East Side,
Okay.
and, it's kinda like a club, I guess, I don't never got in. So we were the girls in Vegas back in the day where we would be in line, and then they would pull us out of line and, like, walk us into a table, and, like, we were so cool.
You're so hot.
So, we're in line, and the girls behind us got pulled out and brought in. And, I mean, granted, they were much hotter than we were, like, young 20s and just fresh and full of life. And so
They're very fresh.
I saw that, my ego was shot, and I was like, "You know what? Fuck this, we're going to get pizza." And so we walked across the street, and there was this place called it was called, like, Pizza Beach, or it was, like, beach themed, but it was pizza. It's closed now, and it's not there anymore, but, I got a vodka pizza with burrata on it, and it was again, vodka, burrata, pizza, pasta, whatever, get in my stomach, like, top
Yeah.
tier.
There comes a point in life, and that was at that moment for you, where we just don't stand in line anymore. Okay.
No. Now if I go to a club, which is, like, a very rare occasion, I'm not going if I don't have a table. If I don't have a table
Yeah.
and now I have money one time, oh my gosh, this is hilarious. Oh, it was, like, a year or 2 ago, we were in New York, and, Garrett was, like and Jason walked around, and they went to this, like, Christmas market while Kelsey and Marissa and I got, some ear piercings, and they just got trashed in, like, a record time. We're at dinner, he's being so obnoxious, and then Jason leaves to go home, and I tried to, like, put him in I was like, "Just go home with Jason, Kelsey can stay with me in the city." And he does not go home with Jason. And then we go to a bar and he's just beyond drunk, like, thought someone was looking at him weird, so starts, like, trash talking him and, like,
Jeez.
we're, like, rushing him out because he's, like, about to get in a fight with over nothing, like, the guy probably was just like, "You're drunk." Like, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
He wants to rent one of those rental bikes and ride back, and I was like and
Why
I
is
had
that
ordered
always a
a
thing with
I don't
him?
know.
You did that in
I
Charleston too.
Yes. And so I had ordered an Uber by this point, and then it was a minivan, and it pulled up, and I was like, "Get in the fucking Uber." And so I put him in the Uber, I was like, "Kelsey and Marcel, I'll meet up with you guys in a little bit," because like, I wasn't drunk yet. I was, like, trying to have a good time with my friends in the city. So we get back to the hotel, I put him to bed, he is out within seconds. I'm angry. So I get back, meet up with them, and I was like, "Let's go to Tao because 'cause we're cool."
Shut up. This is like 2 years ago?
Yes. And I'm
Stop.
in, like, borderline pajamas, like, I'm in, like, this, like, comfy lounge set. I got in, I was like, "I make my own money now, I can buy a table." So I buy a table. My credit card gets put on, like, a hold for fraud,
Oh,
and I get put in, like, because you show up, you hand them your card, they take it back, whatever. I'm in Tao jail for, like, 30 fucking minutes while I'm on the phone with the credit card company trying to clear the charge.
God.
One of them, either Marissa or Kelsey, was, like, texting me at the same time because 'cause they're still out at the table. They're like, "It's fine, let's just go." I was like, "No, I am proving a point. I'm going out and having fun. He ruined my night already. We're doing this." And so finally it clears, whatever, we go back to the table. I was like a bottle fairy because when it's just like girls at a table, it's not creepy for other girls to, like, come over and hang out. So
Yeah.
we had to buy, like, obviously a certain amount of bottles, and so I just have this, like, bottle of vodka that no one's drinking, and I'm just, like, pouring it in all the little girls' mouths. And then the Armenians were in the town because the DJ
As
just
they are.
kept going on the mic, "The Armenians are here." And the whole crowd would go, I'm like, "The whole country? Like, which Armenians? Like, who are we talking about?" But it was
You
just the
know,
Armenians.
it's a common thing. I feel like anytime there's a Armenian in the crowd, they've gotta have a shout out. They
They've got to
bring
have
the
to show
party.
up.
Yeah.
Epic night, though.
Wow.
So anyways,
Wow
I
to
was in New
tell.
York. This time it was much more tame because I had my children with me.
Yeah.
We don't go to Tao anymore. Uh,
No.
no. And then I was home, and then you came, and then we went to Utah, and that was about it.
It was beautiful.
Beautiful.
It was a beautiful time.
It was.
I
I got back from to work yesterday and today when I started seeing people. I'm like, "Oh, how was your long weekend?" And whatever. I was like, it was beautiful. We literally, like, wore sweats all weekend and did nothing and just ate food.
a dream.
It was a dream.
A dream come true and much needed.
Yeah.
So, it was great. We celebrated your birthday.
Oh yeah, it was my birthday.
It was our birthday.
My birthday.
It was fun. What else to add on to that?
What was your favorite part of the week slash weekend?
Obviously, seeing you, being with you.
Yeah.
Um,
Was it the
probably
koala moment?
yeah. I mean, that's up at the top, but just like being all together, especially having Kelsey there, you, me, the group chat came
The
to
group
life.
chat. The group
They
chat
made it
lives.
out. Yes.
They made it out of the chat.
We made it out of the chat all together. Um, I think that was the most fun part was just like being one with each other.
One. Yeah.
Yes. It
It was
was
lovely.
lovely. And then second top tier moment that I will hold on to for a lifetime is a reel that we created for social media. And if you want, you can go to our social media and see me swallowing Katie, and she's holding me, telling people to scram, leave her alone. She doesn't want to talk to you.
Get out.
I held on and smiled so big.
How much were you hoping I was gonna mess it up and we would have to redo it?
I was hoping I didn't actually think of that. I was just
You know I'm
holding
a
on to
one-hit
the
wonder
moment.
with my
You
real
yeah,
filming.
yeah, one thing about her, she's a one-hit wonder.
One-hit
She'll get it
wonder.
on the first try. So, that was probably just in the back of my head, and so I was
Yeah.
just holding on to that moment
That's
forever.
really sweet.
It was really sweet. Did you enjoy it?
It's a little close for comfort, but I'm glad I love that you enjoyed it.
I'm glad we don't have an HR.
I'm glad we don't have HR at this company.
Yes,
I am HR.
she is.
Speaking of which, no.
Well, speaking
Yeah.
of which, I came clean to Katie about a time I did take advantage of her while she was asleep on the couch.
What?
I told you this past weekend, but there was a time where I came back from the studios pretty late and you were on the couch, just like dead asleep. And I was trying to like tell you that I was home. I was like, Katie, Katie.
When
And
you
you were
hugged
just
me.
like passed out. So I cuddled up next to you and gave you like a little hug. I was like, good night.
Oh, that's
You didn't
sweet.
move. I was like,
When I'm out,
wow.
I'm out.
Yeah. So I took advantage of her. Sorry.
Cute.
It was a moment. It was great.
That's lovely. I did appreciate you walking up the stairs. And let's talk about something. When you're at elevation and you don't live at elevation, everything is hard. Walking is
So
hard,
hard.
breathing is hard, eating is
Existing
hard,
is hard.
existing. And Ava, the bedroom her and Kelsey were staying in was downstairs, so the main level's technically on, like, the 2nd floor because it's, like, built into a hill, so it's the floor you walk in on, and then you can go down. She walks up with her phone playing, the 50 Cent song. What's it called? In the club.
In the club.
In
In
the
the
club.
club.
And she's, like, bumping, and it was my birthday, and she walked up. And that was sweet, but she's all and then it was funny because she was, like, huffing and puffing the whole time.
Ugh, so much work. Anything for my friend.
Okay.
Anything. I sacrificed my breath.
What are we gonna do for your birthday?
Ugh.
I'll have to game
Uh,
plan that.
nothing. I
You were
do not.
really terrible to be born on a holiday weekend.
Yes, and this year it's on actual Memorial Day,
Oh, yeah.
which is fine. Now people know my birthday, which I don't I feel like you're either one way or the other. You either like love celebrating your birthday or you just like don't want to talk about it at all. I'm the one that I just like don't want to talk about it at all.
So
I will fly under the radar.
I will tell you the most cringe part of my weekend. Do you know what it was?
Oh, the videos?
Yes. So I love celebrating my birthday. Me and Kelsey, our birthday is like everything to us. We go on trips for every birthday. Like we're big birthday people. But I cannot stand like people, especially like I don't mind like my friends posting like happy birthday. I appreciate like the happy birthday like stories that they tag me in or whatever. Ava was very well intentioned. And she had our sweet staff make this surprise video of them all wishing me a happy birthday and talking about how amazing I am. And I just feel like, as the owner and posting that on the social media accounts of the studios I own, just makes me look like such an like narcissistic ass that I made my
No.
staff post this. And it was like, and for some reason, I didn't see it for like 8 hours until I think you asked about it. And I was like, no, I
Yeah.
didn't see it. Uh, And I was secretly dying inside, but I appreciate the sentiment.
You know, the people do love you. They do care.
Do they?
They do. But yeah, it was funny trying to get videos of everyone.
I will note who did not send a video and watch out. I think most
But
people did.
yes, majority of people did. Other ones were severely ill because the plague hit our studios.
Oh my God, the
That was
plague.
probably the worst timing.
We had probably at least 4 instructors out the same week with the plague. The plague being, I assume, some sort of the flu or cold. Like, there was so many
Yeah,
nastiness things going around.
the
Yeah.
nastiness.
The nastiness. My son's school sent out a thing about scarlet fever exposure. Like, I
That's
thought
terrible. That's
scarlet
awful.
fever was like a medieval disease. Who knew?
That's
Anyhow,
why we
it
would
was
not survive during that time.
no, absolutely not. Well, I would because I powered through and I taught multiple classes. I
You
was a good
did.
owner. Some we had to cancel, and
It
that's
is
just
what it
life.
is. That's life. It rarely
But
happens.
praying everyone stays
Stays
healthy.
healthy.
One thing I will tell the masses, Ava got me onto this stuff, so it's really her, but a bunch of the teachers are posting about it. It's the Beekeeper's Naturals propolis immune throat spray thing. Anytime someone around me, my kids, other people, or there's just general illness going around, or I
Yeah.
start to feel ill, start pumping that in my mouth. It's a godsend.
Yes. Pump that, spray it. There's a nasal spray that's beautiful. Get the max strength. It will do wonders. Although I did get sick, but I will say I ran out of my spray like a week before I got very sick.
That's why.
That's why. And then got a new one, pumped it. It was better within like 5 business days. But yes, I would love to be sponsored by them. I utilize their products daily, their throat lozenges. If I'm down for the count, hit me up.
Love it.
Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate
Beekeeper's
it.
Naturals.
Yes. Well, that's that on that, unless there's anything else you'd like to add from the week, the weekend.
No. Thank you to everyone who came. Thank you to my parents for hosting us.
Yeah.
Thank you to Alex and Taylor for cooking all the food, even though Alex
All the
savored
food.
my birthday champagne and
Let's not talk about it. Let's not talk about it. There was a moment. There was a
was a
moment
moment.
that
My
was taken away from Katie on her birthday,
actual
nonetheless.
birthday.
Yes.
Yeah, it's fine. We'll forgive you.
I will say, I had no idea what was happening. We were just like on the couch, and then all of a sudden everyone left. And then
Where
someone,
were you outside when it was going on? Like,
no,
did
I
you go
was
out
on the
there?
couch with you.
Well, I was on the couch, and then I heard that he was going to savor the champagne, and I stood up and I was like, "No, I want to do it. It's my birthday." And as I'm walking out, they all look at me, and he just does it, and I was
Yeah.
like,
I think I remained on the couch.
"You were safe in that
I
position.
was safe there.
You were not
Uh,
complicit."
yeah, I was like, oh no, this is not going to go well. I'm like, Alex is dead set on doing this. Katie is like jumping over the couch. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to stay here with the dogs. I'm going to
Smart girl.
stay here with Wilma.
So Wilmy,
Her and I were in the safe space
you
on
were.
the corner of the couch. But
It's all right.
yes,
We'll move past it.
we
It's
will.
fine.
Yes, we've already moved past it. We're on to other things, other things.
Other teams. Oh, we gotta talk about Traitors later. Okay.
Yes. We're going to do a huge recap on Traitors, our reactions, because we were all together as a group, and that was the
I wish
funniest
we
thing.
had filmed it. It was so good.
Yeah, we should have filmed it, and we'll talk about it further because there's also like studio stuff happening, the alarm, the burglary systems going off, and I'm usually, we'll talk about it more, but it was funny.
Yeah. Well, let's get into our dramatic email reading, shall we?
Yes. Okay, so this takes place about, it was in 2023, so it was about a few months after the RSM, our Rancho Santa Margarita studio, had reopened. And this was during a time where we offered a intro class. And with our intro classes and any classes in general, there is no late entry for specific reasons. If you've never done this workout before, you can't just walk in 5 minutes late to the class and expect a good experience.
Well, you can expect too. This is a group class, right? It's not a private.
No,
So if you walk in, you don't know what equipment you're supposed to grab. The equipment room is past the studio room. So like the sales associate can't help you. And so now you're expecting the instructor to like stop the class to help you get set up, ask if you have any injuries, ask if you're okay
exactly.
with hands-on corrections. Like, no, the class is like actively going on. This is why you cannot arrive late. And
No,
it's
and
just not safe.
it's not safe. It's disrespectful.
Yeah.
Yes. So this first time person, never been to the studio, was scheduled to take an intro class, and she was 5 minutes late. Therefore, she was not let into the class, and she threw the biggest fit, was beyond disrespectful to our lovely, stunning, beautiful
Disney
employee,
princess.
Disney princess of a human.
Yeah.
Um, and if you don't have security cameras in your business, in your studios, you need to, because this is how we find everything. Like, we have some of our best friends are clients too, and they'll tell us things that are happening like either before, during, or after class, and we go to the cameras and watch it all, and it's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. But for these specific reasons, security related, but also receipt related, we require and you need security cameras. So this woman came in late for the class. Class already started. She threw the biggest fit, was beyond disrespectful to our staff. She was trying to open the door to the studio room and forced our sales associate to go into the room, talk to the teacher, make her stop in order for her to go in and be part of the class. So our little sales associate, of course, being a sweet person she is, goes into the class, asks the teacher if this person can come in and start. And the teacher, as she should, said no. Like, she's in the middle of teaching. At that time, was it 30 minutes or were we doing 50 intro classes?
I think it was the 30 still. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a 30-minute class. So she's already past minute 5, which at that point, you're already done with warm up almost in that regard. You're going into a heavyweight section that you can't just jump into and grab 10, 15-pound weights and think you're going to be okay. So, no. So she wasn't allowed in and was going off at our sales associate, telling her that she's a medical professional, she's had cancer, this and that, and just being blatantly rude.
She
But
threatened to put a curse on her. Like, she said she was
yes,
gonna curse her or something. Like,
yes, yeah, she threatened to curse her. I'm like, what are you, a fucking witch? Like, wild.
she's a what's scary is she's actually, well, claims to be a
Yes,
medical doctor, a gynecologist, I think, at
yeah,
Kaiser. So beware.
yes. Oh, yeah. You'll hear in this email all of her um, details.
This is
So,
so long.
yes. So she demanded to have the owner's personal email, which I'm never going to give that out. Staff is
She
never
wanted
going to
my
give
phone
that out.
number.
She
It's
wanted, yeah, your phone number. So we gave her just the general studio email because that's how we relate to things. No, you're not going to get our personal phone numbers and our personal work emails that have our phone numbers attached to it. So, no. It says, this is person. Dear Katie, owner of Pure Bar, I am name. I want to let you know that I called ahead and was told that there was a 5-minute late policy. I told her that I was so sorry that I was late for the foundations class, but some unforeseen circumstances caused me to be late. I'd come in the day before to buy $22 socks and to enter data into my profile. When I made the appointment, no one mentioned that if one is 5 minutes late, one could not be allowed to attend the class. This needs to be mentioned to new customers, especially. Bunch of exclamation points. When I spoke with, she gave the staff members first and last name, which no, you don't get to know my last name. It's just Ava, okay? This is Ava Flava to you, ma'am.
to you.
Parentheses, front desk. She stated that if I was more than 5 minutes late, I could not attend the class. I left my house and rushed to the studio, hoping to make it in time. Just a little background. I am a 24-year resident of Costa de Caza, a medical professional and a breast cancer survivor. I understand the importance of warm-up and could have signed a waiver or whatever for being 3 minutes late if necessary. On policies, the intent matters, and the intent of the late policy is to prevent repeat customers from regularly strolling in 10 to 20 minutes late. This was not that situation, and common sense needs to be used in different social situations. I was super excited to start the class and was not planning on being late. Anyways, I asked if I could speak to a manager or owner to see if could be accommodated, but she said no manager available at 4:10 p.m. on weekday. Sorry. Like, it's
You
7:10.
weren't going to get a different answer.
No, you
Like,
weren't going to get a different answer. And this happens on a regular basis, maybe a few times a week, where I get a call from a staff member. It happened while we were in Utah, and time difference was not computing to me. And she's like, "Hi, can this person take class right now?" I was like, "Why can't she?" She's like, "Oh, it's X amount of time." I'm like, "Class started 10 minutes ago." No, that's our policy. So you're not going to get a different answer if you're going to make staff call me. So let that be known. Anyways, I asked if I could speak to a manager or owner to see if I could be accommodated, but she said no manager available at 4:10 p.m. on a weekday. Furthermore, when I did arrive at 4:22 per my watch, approximately 2 to 3 minutes past your late window, I asked her kindly, ask the instructor, Taylor. She even said the last name. Like, what are, no.
it's crazy.
Taylor had only one student taking the class, so she could have easily accommodated me and even asked the other student if it would be okay. The customer service was apparent. There was no attempt to even see if I might be accommodated, especially with only one person in class. Firstly, in a new class of beginners, the tone and how you address a customer in trying to contact manager, she spelled manager wrong. She called
Imager.
me manager.
Cute.
That's right. Or ask instructor is nice, especially in a local new member who will contribute future thousands to your business.
Please.
Word travels fast in Kodo via Yelp and very large Facebook resident group reviews. And anyone hearing this story and seeing only one student in foundation class will wonder why your instructor could not be more accommodating and why those 2 to 3 minutes were necessary to draw such a firm line in sand, perhaps motivated by the modern desire to do less or fixed income wage. I expect nothing makes sense.
This has got to be the world's longest email.
It is. I expect you as a business owner to consider that in talking to your employees. As a business owner, you know that people's perceptions matter. There are other studios, such as, she says another studio in the area, which many friends frequent and has very kind workers from my friends.
Good. Go there.
Go there.
Please.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Rules are there, but intent matters. A bunch of exclamation points. The intent of these rules is not to allow the front desk clerk to deny a member who is 3 minutes late access to beginner class that is offered only once or twice a week. The goal is to recruit new members, I hope. Anyways, the super high rents in South OC and the abysmal customer service and your desire to jump to your employee's defense, which I expected without talking to customer first, is not conducive to having a good start to your new business in South OC. I wish you good luck. Take care. P.S. Excuse typos. Routine via cell phone.
So before
Exhausting.
this email came, I had sent her, because she had sent an email asking for my information. And so I responded back very quickly and it was like, I'm sorry you had a negative experience. These are our policies. You were sent an email, whatever. I did check the cameras and you were actually 8 minutes late, which is far too late. And then she had sent that long email. So, girl, I respond back like an hour later. Thanks, blank. I watched the security camera video, so understand very clearly what happened. To clarify, there are no late arrivals allowed. She shouldn't have even offered the 5 minutes, which she only did because you started yelling at her. So she had called and said, like, I'm going to be late. And Megan told her no, like, I'm sorry, there's no late arrivals. And she was yelling at her over the phone. And so she's like, okay, if you get here within the first 5 minutes, like, I'll try to get you in. She was being yelled at. So I continue. I 100% believe in providing good customer service, but will not tolerate my staff being spoken to the way you spoke to mine. Megan did go out of her way to try and accommodate you by interrupting the class to ask the instructor if you could come in. Every customer matters, including the one person who was interrupted in the middle of her workout. the other client that was in the class. I will make sure my team makes it clear to first-time visitors in advance that no late arrivals are allowed best. And then she responds.
It's not as long as the first one, but it's long. Dear Katie, your camera may not have recorded our previous convo with Megan on phone, which was not the kindest on her part.
Okay, that's all I heard was her response to. I recorded her
Yeah,
psycho on the phone. I heard how she was responding to you. She was so kind. Like that's
so kind. And
psycho.
there's not a mean bone in Megan's body or could even
No.
come out of her mouth. So that I do not believe at all, which kind of ties into our topic today, which we'll go into later. Problem is, you did not clearly elucidate. Is that how you say it? Your late policy, and then you want to enforce it with unrelenting precision when you only have one person in class. I've belonged to other gyms, and especially with new customer and new business, it's good to have a little grace. I did not yell, but I did slightly raise my voice because I was upset. No, she yelled.
She yelled.
She yelled. I had to beg your employee to please ask instructor. She was
Because
not.
it's so fucking rude to make
Yeah,
her go in, stop a class to ask. You were screaming at her. This, like, literally, I forgot about this whole exchange because it was so long ago, and it just makes my blood boil every time
it
now.
does. She was not going to do that, so that's a bit much in a class of one person. I'm a physician, and if I had no patience and someone walks in late, I'm going to accommodate them. At
There wasn't
Kaiser,
no patients. There was one patient. There was someone physical. Oh my God, she is such a psycho.
we allow them to still be seen in, but if more than 10 minutes late, they sometimes have to be worked in. This isn't a hospital, lady. This is you get one chance
We're
or
not
not.
saving, like,
We're not saving lives here.
if
Like,
someone's on their deathbed, I would hope you would treat them. And also,
exactly.
you not having a patient is not the same as an instructor having one client in class. It's not the same
No.
thing.
I understand this is different situation, but
No,
really
you
with
don't.
one person in class, it's no big deal to add a new customer. You can even ask the other customer. It's always fun to have more than one. It
More
is a
tan one.
class. Yeah.
There's, I hope she's not a doctor.
Yes. Even your busy class the day before had only 3 people. Not good, Katie.
And she spells my name wrong.
How dare she? How dare she, Caddy?
You lost me there.
Continue to support your employees and not even acknowledge that we should be notified as a new member of this late policy. She was, or show any reluctance to even acknowledge my viewpoint, and you will be closing down this branch, I predict. I hope so.
At this rate.
At this rate, I hope so. Okay. Do you want to take over, lady? Do you want to teach? Do you want to handle this? Be my fucking guest. Oh, exhausting,
So
blood
she keeps
boiling.
sending more emails.
Did she? I didn't even see that.
Oh, yeah. So she
It
sends
ended
another one.
there.
I didn't respond.
No, at some
And
point,
so she sends another email like the next day saying that she went to that other studio and like how nice they were and she was signing up there. I stopped responding. And then she
yeah.
sent,
Okay.
she keeps emailing. She wouldn't stop. So eventually I had to block her email and everything just went to spam. It just never ended with her. So goodbye.
She kept like my biggest thing with people is the threats.
Yeah.
It, it could be something nonchalant. Like recently, there's someone we didn't let into class and they send an email. It's not a personal attack. These are policies, not to like put you down, not to disrespect you, but to protect you and also set a tone and precedent of our policies. Because if we allow one, then we have to allow all. Okay. And it's like this at every single boutique fitness. Try going to a Pilates class late. Try canceling out of a Pilates class. What, like, is it 12 hours before?
Yeah, my studio the industry standard is 12 hours. So class pass 12 hours. My
Yes.
studio's 12 hours. And you know what? When I do late cancel, the studio I'm a member at, I don't call them and berate them and ask for them to waive the fee. If I show up, like, if I would have
Yeah.
shown up late to my first class, I wouldn't have that's my fault.
But the threats that we receive of this is going to make me rethink if I want to continue. I'm like, you know what? Go ahead. Go find another studio where it's going to be this lenient
Yeah.
and this like kind. We waive the fees in those cases. And like, sorry,
Yeah.
I've
This
got a
lady
job
was
to do here.
no. Like, we're just trying to do
We've
our
got
job.
businesses to run.
It's not and honestly, it's more fair to treat everyone the same way and not make exceptions for people because
Yeah.
then you can be accused of favoring other people. Like, we're trying to be consistent. This is our
Yeah.
policy.
Yeah.
This is what you agreed to when you signed up or when you booked your class or whatever. You got an email that said you had to arrive early. You got an email with our late cancellation policy. Your membership has our late cancellation. Like, just come on.
And
Like,
also be kind to our staff because
it's not them.
it's not them. And yes, I'll look back on the cameras because when they call me, when it takes them having to call me, that means things aren't going well in person.
Yeah.
So that's when I go to the cameras and I look at the actual conversation and see that you were being rude to our staff member because they're just trying to withhold or uphold studio policy, trying to do their job. Sorry. Yeah, we do make exceptions. There's case to case stuff. So
So if you know a Kaiser doctor in Coto de Caza, A,
don't
beware.
do
And
beware.
B, she needs a lesson in how to auto correct her spelling
Yes.
because
I am here to say, though, our sweet staff member that had to endure all of that was not cursed.
no, she
No,
became even more of a Disney princess after that. She's the
she
one
did.
where birds fly into the studio and
Birds fly in.
she doesn't realize and they just hop around her and she's literally
Yeah.
Cinderella. So,
After that, she became sales manager into ops manager into teaching all the things.
yeah.
So, no, she was not cursed.
No. Your curse failed.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. And I'm sure you're having a great experience at whatever fitness studio, whether it's that bar studio or another one you're a member at, and I'm sure they love having you because 'cause you're such a
I'm
pleasant person.
sure they love having you. And I hope you are getting the treatment
You
mm,
deserve.
you deserve there. Anywho, this is a great segue into the leadership we've survived,
Survived.
leadership styles, and yeah, let's dive in.
I think you learn a lot from not only obviously who your leaders are, but you learn about being a good leader and what
Mhm.
leadership looks like. And sometimes you don't realize it in the moment. Sometimes it takes getting a new leadership or person in leadership in your life to kind of compare because everyone's different. I've definitely had a variety of different leaders, and I think different leadership styles are more, some can be more important than others at different points in your career. I remember I had one where he was a very nice person, but he was so hands off. I could go like a month without speaking to him. And at the moment, I was I wrote my own performance evaluation every year. So
Wow.
5 stars on Yelp for me. I he was so detached, and at the moment,
Oh,
I was a
wow.
little bit kind of further along in my leadership journey, and so I was like, "This is great, I have no one looking over my shoulder." I went from a manager who I adore and is still, like, one of the most amazing managers I've ever had, who was much more involved, and then I had him, and I didn't want him to be my manager because I loved this other person, but she had moved away, uh, or, like, relocated for work, and so I already wasn't excited about him. I love working for women. So, that was just another piece of it, but I was like, "Great, he doesn't really care if I exist, so I'm just gonna pretend he doesn't," and we just kind of went about our merry way, but I think there was a couple of really rough things about that. I think one, when I no longer had him as my manager and I had someone who was not afraid to give feedback and was very direct, and um was a lot more in the weeds in my stuff. It was a huge, like, gut reaction in the other way. I was like, "Who are you to tell me that I'm not perfect?" And, like, I didn't know how to take feedback because
Yeah.
I was never given it. Um, I was like, "Let me do my job, I'm great, like, stop asking me questions." And so that relationship was bumpy for a while, I think at the start, or at least I don't know if I ever verbalized it, but, I mean, I'm sure she felt it. But then I think on the flip side, someone who also reported to this person, this guy who was brand new in his career, he got no direction. So I think for me, like, I was okay other than, like, not really being able to take feedback and really understand where I was in the company or how other people saw me because he never told me.
Right.
But, for this other person, I think it really was a disservice to him because he wasn't giving any coaching. He was, he treated us all the same way. Like, no one was giving feedback. No one was really like, if you had a question, I'm sure you could ask him. But, like, I think for him being new in his career, I think that that really set him back. He'd also, like, would really struggled with getting feedback. Um, but I think it was a challenge in recognizing good leadership if that was the only real leadership you had ever experienced. And so, you know, I think there's a lot of layers there. I think on the flip side, I've had a tough time with people who, are overly overbearing, and I think expectations being unrealistic, and, um, expectations of not taking time off or not, um, kind of being available all the time, and that's just kind of how you have to do to move up. I don't think that that's reasonable or realistic, and I think that that was part of just, like, the culture, uh, a bit at the company at some of the higher levels. Um, so I do think there's different points where different leadership styles might translate better than others, but I don't think they were all positive for me. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
that's my story.
No, I love all of that. And that kind of plays into like some red flags that we tend to normalize when it comes to either being under leadership or going into a leadership role just based upon your own experiences. And it can be teachers you've had in the past in school. Um, at any level, high school, collegiate, whatever it may be, sports related too, like that, those coaches, those professors, those teachers stick with you, and you kind of build all from that to create what you think is a good quality. And I feel like we grew up in an era where it was, you just had to do the most, you know?
Yeah.
Like, there's awards for having the most this, having the most that, you know? So you're constantly working, working, working to get that award. But when you get into positions like you're in too in a corporate level, there's no award for who stays the latest.
No.
There's no award for who gets their work done the fastest.
And if there is, you're probably at an extremely toxic company. Like, if that's how people are getting raises or promotions or acknowledgement is because they're constantly grinding and they're sitting down to be I was the one at one point, like, if I left before my manager, and this is nothing like I feel like she ever said, but it was just something I intrinsically felt I had to do. Like, I have to be there. I have to make sure I'm still there when she's there or he's there, whoever it
Yeah.
was. If that's the only way you're getting rewarded at your company is by burning yourself out, you are at a bad company. Like, you need to leave the situation or find a way to leave
Mhm.
the situation because that's not healthy.
Or maybe too, like I'm this person where it's self-inflicted, where I'm putting that
Yeah.
pressure on me when that's not even um it's not even being asked by leadership or management. I'm just putting unrealistic expectations on me because I'm thinking I'm going to get to this or I'm going to get that if I'm the first one in, the last one out.
I do think that's very, valid. I think that at my last position when I left, that's where I was. Like, no
Mhm.
one straight out told me, like, I have to do this, but I was just doing all the things. I was the yes girl. I was saying yes to everything because I thought that that was gonna get me promoted, and so when I tried to, like, have a sit down with our department head of, like, this is what I where I think I'm at. This is what I want my timeline to be." And they were like, "Yeah, you probably got another couple years." And that's when I was like, "Well, shit,
Mm,
I'm not doing this for a couple more years because I'm dying."
yeah.
And like,
At that point, you had been with the company for what, over a decade?
yeah, I was almost at 13 years.
Yeah, it's a long
I
time.
Yeah,
It's
I
tiring.
appreciated being him like someone finally just being blunt, like, "This is your timeline," 'cause they never like to put timelines around things verbally, but they're like, "This is what you're looking at," and I do appreciate that he said that, but at the same time, it was like, it's time for me to go because I was killing myself and to be told to just kinda, like, grind it out for another couple years, like, I've been
Yeah.
grinding and they're entitled to their opinion of where I'm at. I'm entitled to walk away from it, and, I think there's a lot of power in that.
Mhm.
I will say I think really strong leadership is built in mutual respect. It's not built from a place of power.
Yes.
There's something called, like, the 5 levels of leadership and why people follow you. We learned this in Pure Barre training once. Um, and I think, like, the top tier is, like, people follow you because they respect you and they want to follow you and they see your vision and they see, what you can provide to them versus, like, just having a title, like, "You have to follow me because I'm your boss," or,
Mhm.
um, forcing it on them. I will say there was this really positive story with someone I used to work with. He was with the company, left, and then came back in a different but semi-related department. And he was really struggling with someone on his team who and I think I've talked about this before. A lot of times you get higher up in the company, your actual job skills are a lot less important than your leadership skills because you're not the one actually doing the work, like the hands-on work. You're leading and you're team building and you're driving strategy. You're not necessarily like building the thing, right? So some people on his team were struggling with him because they didn't respect that he didn't do their job at one point in his career. He kind of made a shift, worked in the industry, but in a different role. What really changed for him is that he was super humble. He had one on he was kind of running into resistance for a while. And me and my former boss who I loved at the time, I wasn't working for her anymore. We were in different departments, but we both sat down with him and told him like you need to come and just like have a heart to heart, have like a moment with them. Be like, because you do need them, right? Like, they are on your
Mhm.
team, you do need them. They need to meet you halfway, but if they don't see you, like, if there's an ego there where, like, you're afraid to admit what you don't know because you haven't done their job directly before, whatever it is, like, come to them humble, be like, "Hey, this is where I'm at. I want to succeed. I want you to succeed. I want us to succeed together. I want to have a positive working relationship. And I need you to help me. I need you to train me. Like, this is how we're all going to grow together." Whatever he said, I wasn't obviously in that conversation, but whatever he said, I remember someone on his team coming to me and saying, like, I really appreciated he had that conversation with me, that he was humble, that he asked for my opinion on things. That's
Mhm.
what really changes the leadership dynamic and is really a telling sign of a good leader.
Absolutely. Yeah. Ask your team questions because they're
Mhm.
the ones in the weeds, in the day to day, because your mind is elsewhere on other aspects of the job, other aspects of the business, other aspects of you see numbers. And that's basically, I don't know if it was you or someone else, but like in a corporate setting, you're just kind of like a number to the higher ups.
Mhm.
It's sad, but that's kind
Yeah.
of the reality of how it is. So, um, yeah, ask your team questions. Ask them what they're experiencing, what they need from you. Um,
I think it's really telling too if your team is afraid to give you feedback, right? Like if they're
Absolutely.
so terrified of giving you any sort of constructive criticism, even if you ask for it, because a lot of times managers, and especially in corporate jobs, are forced to ask for feedback. Like it's part of being a good manager. But if your team's afraid to give you feedback because they're afraid of how you're going to respond, that's a problem.
Absolutely. Yes. So that kind of leads into the next little segment of this is high standards versus fear-based leadership. So, fear-based leadership looks like withholding information, inconsistent expectations, creating urgency where none exists, and leading through intimidation. So, that kind of ties into everything that you said of staff being fearful of approaching leadership or management and feeling afraid to ask questions because they don't want to be criticized for even having a question, you
Yeah.
know?
I think having super clear and reasonable deadlines, like if you need something from someone on your team because you missed the boat or you missed the mark or you forgot about
Mhm.
something, and then you're putting the pressure on them to deliver it for you. I don't like get in the weeds and do it with them, right? Like be a
Yeah.
partner. Don't just be like, sorry, I need this tomorrow. Tough shit. Like
Yeah,
get in there and help them through it. Um,
absolutely.
I think getting your hands dirty as a leader is a really crucial sign to your team of what good leadership is. And they're going to learn from that, right? I think as a people manager, it's one of like the greatest thrills to like see your team grow and shine and turn into leaders themselves. Um, and it's also a reflection of you as a leader. Like, unless you're the
Mhm.
top of the company, there's someone above you, right? And they're assessing how you're doing. And so, um, them seeing you grow your team into leaders is a really good signal for how you are as a leader. Um, and also conversely, like setting as a leader positive examples. And that's something I think I struggled with, whether it would be working on a vacation, sending emails after hours, whatever, because that's what I was seeing from people higher up from me. But then it made my team feel like they had to behave that way. And I don't, that's not a healthy way to operate. And so even if I was still doing those behaviors, I learned to schedule send, which we've talked about on my emails. So it doesn't hit their inbox at 2 in the morning, right? Or turning off my email app on my phone when I'm on vacation so I don't see it and I'm not tempted to respond. So, those little micro behaviors like your team picks up on, and then they're going to be like brainwashed into thinking like, oh, I have to behave this way. And then it's just like this toxic cycle that never, you like, people we're just never going to escape from.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm working on that.
Yes.
It's hard when it's hard in a position like mine where the business is running every single day.
364 days a year.
Yeah, that's why I like to tell people is like when they get mad if a class is canceled or there's a holiday schedule. Like, well, we are open 364 days of the year. We try to keep classes and the studios going during like very hard seasons where we have 0 staff
Yeah.
and like deadlines and sales numbers to hit. So
Yeah.
it's a work in progress. But on the line of fear based leadership and what that looks like, I think I've shared this before of when I worked in a medical office and I was very much new to this world of dermatology. I knew nothing, but what I loved was getting my hands dirty. I loved being on my feet, and I wanted to transition into being a medical assistant. And so I shadowed for like a week or maybe a few days the medical assistants. I shadowed in on surgeries just to make sure I had like the stomach for it. And I loved it. I'm like, I can do this. And then I get thrown into being a scribe for a highly intelligent doctor who's not that far of age away from me. She's someone that graduated high school early, went to college early, did a accelerated, doctorate program. So she was a doctor before the age of 30 and working in an office as a dermatologist. And so
Yeah.
that is what I walked into, someone with, like, 0 experience into someone that is, like, highly intelligent in her field, like a human encyclopedia of just everything. And so she had that expectation of me to be one step ahead of her. I'm like, I don't even know. Like, I didn't even go to school for this. And so I quickly, like on the side, went into uh, taking some medical assistant classes online to get certified, some medical terminology because she was throwing things at me like I should know already, shorthand, abbreviations in the medical field. And we didn't have EMR, we just had just paper charts. And so I'm handwriting it. And this is how I look at things to this day, even in the Pure
Is
Barre
this why
world.
your handwriting's terrible?
Yeah, probably because I'm like quickly, I'm half like print, half cursive because I'm doing it at rapid speed. And so that just stuck with me. But I had to know all this stuff and just and be a step ahead of her. She would see like 40 plus patients a day. The appointments are like 15 minutes. And if you've ever seen a dermatologist, normal routine is the skin checks. They're looking at your body one by one. They're examining moles. They're going to throw things out like a moderately atypical nevus, and then they'll write down the size, the description, what it looks like. At that point in my brain, I know she's going to do a biopsy on that. So as she's finishing up the scan, I already should have everything for the biopsy prepared. I hand her the lidocaine, she pulls it off. I hand her the blade, she pulls that off. I have everything else ready, the jar already printed with the specimen name, everything. Like it was wham bam, thank you, ma'am. And she expected to be on the dot for every single patient. Like 15 minutes, that's it. That's all you get with her. So that was highly intimidating. And she would pull me into her office at the end of the day, just reviewing her charts. And she'd be like, "What is this? You misspelled that. What is that? That's not correct. What does this even say? I can't even read that." I'm like, "Well, I can't even read your writing. You're talking 1,000 miles a minute. Like, I have no idea what, blah, blah, like, I had no idea." And so, and I was terrified to ask her in the room with the patient there, like, "Can you repeat that?" Like, I thought I was going to be, like, fired if I asked a question.
Yeah.
And it got to a point where I'd go home crying every single day because it was just too intense. It was too fast paced. I felt so stupid. Like, I was working with other medical assistants that were in nursing programs, PA programs. And so they had a knowledge of all this information. And I was like, I'm just an idiot. Like, I don't deserve to be here. Let me just go sit behind the desk again at the computer. Bless you.
Thank you.
And I finally, just like one of the days, I think I just broke down crying in front of her, and she had no idea what to do. She was like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "No, I'm trying really hard. I'm letting you down. I have no idea what you're saying in the room. I have no idea what a freaking dysplastic nevus, whatever means. I just pick up on a few words that you say repetitively. Like, I don't even know what this medication is. I don't know how many milligrams it's supposed to be. Like, I don't know what I'm calling into the pharmacies." She was like, "Okay, well, every day, let's go over every single chart at the very end of each patient." I was like, "You don't have time for that." She's like, "We will make time so you can feel secure in the room." She's like, "You see this chart? This is a like court document. That's how you want to see it." And I was like, "Yeah." And that's kind of how I go about every single like email, any single like agreement that we do. These are court documents.
Yeah. I think that I've talked about her before. I think I have a very similar style to
Yes.
her, and like,
Love her to this day. Like, I went to go
yeah,
see her a few months ago when I was in California, and she begged for me to move back and work there again.
if you don't
And
move back for me, move back for her.
I I know, and that was a
Someone.
huge surprise, and she's just like you too, as far as, like, just people, she hated physical touch. Hate, hate,
Yeah.
hate, hate, hate. she will see me now and give me a hug and ask me how I'm doing and like, "Oh my gosh," and we'll just like chit chat about life. I'm like, "Whoa." Like this is not what I would expect, but I got to a point where you just have to ask the question. Don't be afraid to ask the question. Doesn't matter how intimidating that leader or that manager or whoever works above you is. You never know unless you just ask. And the second I asked her and just like broke down, she was able to like be human with me and help me to be where I wanted to be.
Yeah, I think that that's something I ran into a lot because I did initially grow really fast in my company. And then,
Mhm.
I mean, I had people that reported to me that were older than me. And I would ask them, like, when I would explain to them or tell them I needed them to do something or explain to them how to do something, I'd be like, are you following? Do you have any questions? Does this make sense? Whatever. And it was always yes. And then there was always a kind of a point where either I could realize they weren't getting it because they kept making the same mistakes, or I would hear from other people that they were having to pick up a lot of this person's work because they were afraid to come to me. And I truly hope, and I have had some of my former team reach out since I've left the company that like they now appreciated and recognized like that I did have their back and I was there to help them. Sometimes it's hard to see in the moment, I know, but like if you tell me you get it, I'm gonna assume you got it, right? Or
Absolutely.
if you're not
Yeah.
asking me for help, I'm gonna assume you got it. So if you
Right.
don't, let's have a conversation and I'll try to pivot and find a different way to explain it, slow it down. I know I talk fast, but if you're telling me you got it or you look like you got it or you're not asking questions, like that's where, and I can't think of a moment and I know I'm talking about myself, so it whatever. But I can't think of a moment where someone asked me a question and I said, "You're an idiot for asking this question. You should know this." Right?
Absolutely.
Like
And if you do get that response, like, get out.
there
Like,
are there are times where someone asks me the same question over
yeah.
and over and over again. And when I explain it to them, I see them not taking notes. And that is one of
Mhm.
my biggest pet peeves. If you're going to ask me a question, I'm happy to explain it to you. But on the third or fourth time, over the course of a short period of time of you asking me the same question, you're still not taking notes. So I have called people out. I said, it's clear to me and a lot of my relationships were on Zoom because I had people in different offices, but I
Right.
can tell when someone's not taking notes, right? Like we're on video or we're in person.
Yeah.
So there have been times when I think respectfully said, it doesn't appear you're taking notes. Either record the Zoom so you can watch it back, or you need to be taking notes because this is now like the third time I've explained this to you, right? So like there
Right.
are moments like that where I feel like if you're not genuinely trying, that's a different story.
Mhm.
Because I'm not going to fix it for you every time. Like at some point, you need to become somewhat self sufficient in whatever the thing is. But I've never, at least intentionally, tried to make someone feel like they were stupid for asking. Like especially if it was the first, second, third, whatever time of encountering this, whatever the question or issue was. Gotta
Right.
ask.
You just gotta ask. That's all it is.
It is.
Um, so if you're a leader, now what? Some actionable advice from us. How to audit your leadership style? Um,
I think that people are very observant. So one thing I would
mhm.
say is not only ask your team what they think of you, because a lot of times you're not going to get a like an honest answer, I would say.
Yeah.
Um, I would ask your peers 'cause if they see you interact, if you're at a bigger company, obviously ours is a little bit different, but um, I would ask your peers what they think of your style because they see how you interact with your team. That would be one of my tips. Another, be humble.
Mhm.
And if there is a subject matter expert on your team and you don't know what they know, lean into that. Admit that you don't know. Don't pretend like you know. There's a lot of power in admitting what you don't know, whether you're the employee or whether you're the boss. And it helps build a relationship of like understanding, like, okay, this person's in it with me. Like they get it. They're not afraid to tell me what they don't know, even though they're my boss.
Mhm.
Um, it builds that rapport. And then kind of along the same lines, but like ask people for their opinion. Like be invested, even if it's not on a personal, like outside of work level. because that was a hard boundary for me. Like, I was never going to, like, get super deep into my personal life or their personal lives with them. If they wanted to share, I was happy to engage in the conversation, but for me, my personal life was a boundary for me. Um, but at least invest in their career development, show them that you care, be honest with them. I hated when we couldn't tell people where they were at in their timeline, or it had to be very vague. Just be honest. Like, let them know how it works. I was super, at the end of the day, grateful that it was eventually made clear to me where I stood or where they saw me, because then it made me make the best decision for
Yeah.
myself and probably for them,
It made
because
your decision easier because you already
yeah.
had in your mind that you wanted to get out, and that was just confirmation when
Yeah.
someone, your leader, was actually upfront with you about
Yeah.
your timeline.
Just be honest with people, because it allows them to make the decision that serves them best, and that in turn is gonna benefit you at the end of the day. Like, on paper, it might not, because you have to replace them or, whatever, work through the hardship of that. But if they're not happy and they're not putting their best foot forward, they're bringing their best self to work because they're this unhappy or miserable or confused or whatever it is, like, you're not going to get the best out of them either. So at the end of the day, I think it serves both. And from, what I understand, I think that, like, my replacement's doing great at where I'm at. It's a better fit there. I'm a better fit where I'm at. And it really
Mhm.
just kind of all worked out. So,
Yeah. Hi.
and I have Evie in his new hair.
His new hair.
You made a Lego monster?
Yeah, we just have to finish the hat, though.
Okay, I'm almost done. Okay, I'll be out in a few minutes.
In the morning and after school.
Okay, I love you. Can you shut the door? He's very into Legos right now.
Very into Legos. Love that. I feel like I'm in a very interesting spot as a leader where we have a wide variety of employees of all different ages and phases of life, from
Mhm.
high schoolers to college students to newly graduated college students to those that have children, that have families, and then those that are retired as well. So it's like I'm trying to hit a wide range of ages, phases, and types of people. And so that is a constant struggle for me of how do I relate to every single person. And
Mhm.
so what I've learned is just transparency, just calling them throughout their shift, just like, hey, even though I'm X miles away across the country, I still care what's going on. I'll take time out of my daily tasks that need to be done. And like this morning, I've been like so busy the last few weeks just with being sick and then travel and whatnot. I haven't been able to like reach everyone as I have been on a normal basis. And so I just called staff member and she was like, I haven't heard your voice in so long. I'm like, I know, I'm so sorry. Tell me what's
Mhm.
going on. Tell me what's happening in the studio, what's going on in your life, tell me the things. Like, that's
Yeah.
all. Just talk to me. The more they feel comfortable just talking to me, the more comfortable they are going to be able to approach me. It doesn't matter how old they are, what phase they're in, where they're at in life. The trust you build with your team is huge. And I'm such like a individual people person. I'm not I like working in groups, but I also like building like individual connections with people. Like you don't need to know my entire life story, but you can know enough by just talking to me, you know?
Mhm.
And that's
Yeah.
what I want to get from our staff too. Like I don't need to know what happened from the day you were born all the way through now. Like I'm sure you've been through stuff, but just with how I hear you speak, how I hear you treat others, that tells me enough. So
Mhm.
that's what I look for within staff too. And just leading with my heart first. Was trying to write down some stuff. Um, I never want to lose my composure in front of them, but if I need to cry, I will. And I've done that before in a team meeting. But it was more of gratitude for them, but also frustration at the same time. I was
Yeah.
frustrated with what I was hearing staff members say within the studio to each other. And it's like, obviously, this is going to come back to me. It always does. It comes back to one of us. And so if I hear just like constant negativity being said when I'm also experiencing a whole nother type of environment elsewhere, I'm like, you guys, you have it so good. You have it so good. We could be a lot worse of people. We could not care like shit about you, but we care so much. We care and try to show you by just like compensation, but also having these moments of connection, of like me trying to reach every single person that I can whenever I'm in town. Like half the time I'm in town, I don't get that much work done because these people are just talking to me, which I love talking to our staff. That's my time to connect with them in person. But, you know, yeah, that's when I broke down crying was like
Yeah.
frustration, but gratitude. And hopefully they were able to see a different side of me and like, oh, she really cares.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
like, I
really
do
sweet.
care. I care a lot. But this kind of goes along the lines of working within working with a bunch of different ages and types of people is being able to be adaptable. So,
Mm.
as a leader, I feel like you need to be able to adapt to every personality, every single learning type, and it doesn't matter what field you're in. Like, adapt to these people, get to know them, see how they work.
Mhm.
It might seem like you're micromanaging at first, but you're just trying to get to know, okay, how do they get from A to Z? What are their steps? How
Yeah.
can I help them within that middle ground so that they feel confident without me?
Yeah.
And so I've created a bunch of those tools. Some people need like written things out of like every single aspect. I have so many scripts on our calls and our text messages already laid out for them. Different documents, different Excel sheets that lays out every single factor. You have a question, it's there. I've even created videos of how to do it. So if someone's more of a visual learner, or like audible, they hear me and visually see me do the task.
Yeah.
So it's just getting to know the type of people you have on your team and just being able to adapt to every single person. Um, yeah,
Love that.
love
That
that.
was really great tidbits you had.
Good. Every now and then I have something.
No, you actually are a really good leader, and I think
Oh,
that
thank you. I
you're a
feel like
really
I
good,
fail.
like, complement to my style,
And
right?
you know what's how this all works too? I mean, work wives and real lives. If you don't know, you should know. Katie and I are best friends, but also
I
she's
hope
my
they know at
boss.
this point.
Yeah, I hope they know at this point, but you're also my boss. But it takes a specific type of person like you, like me. We're completely different people,
Yeah,
but that works. I compliment you, you compliment me, and that works in our friendship, that works in our business friendship. Um,
like, I
so
think if you and I were, like, the same person, and, like, had the same style, it would
oh my
be
gosh,
explosive in a bad way. Like, it
for
would
sure.
be not conducive to a healthy, positive relationship at all.
No, and in the beginning, we had those moments, but we like what I just said, any friendship, you get to know that person and they, how they react to certain situations, how they adapt to different scenarios, and so I feel like we had to learn that, like, right away, like, we gelled
Mhm.
immediately as friends, so then
Yeah.
it was like, "Okay, how do we gel as coworkers, as
Mhm.
you're my boss. It takes someone in my role to be very like a very humble you're very humble too, but someone that's able to take a step back and understand like a level of respect. And you have so much respect for me. I have so much respect for you. But at the same time, you can't be like in my position and be a know-it-all
Mhm.
and say, "No, Katie, that's not how it's going to work." Like, "No, we're not doing that." Every now and then I'll be like, "No, like we've seen this before. We've seen this pattern," or "No, the people don't like this," type thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is really important for you as the one doing the day-to-day, the work to like, because sometimes I lose focus, like I'm not
Yeah,
out of touch or I don't understand it fully 'cause I don't do it every day. And so
right.
it is important for you to share that because if you don't, then it's gonna lead to resentment for you, feeling overworked or overburdened or whatever the, may result of the decision I made that I might not have full clarity on like what
Mhm.
the result is.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then for someone in your position where your best friend is also like managing the day to day of your business, you have to have full trust in them.
Yeah.
Like, you're trusting me with like finances, with growth, with everything. And that's huge. So,
Yeah.
if you're in a position like Katie and I, you just have to have those tough conversations. It's going to happen. People are going to cry. Things are going to blow up for like a day, but how you're able to adapt and work with each other and find common ground, find boundaries too, and that's every relationship. I have boundaries with my husband. There's things that like you don't cross this, you don't cross that, and if you do, like we're going to bed, we're going to explode.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure, yeah, that's all
Yeah.
I got.
Love it. Well, let us know in the comments what your leadership tips are, what your leadership style is. Like,
Let us
comment,
know.
subscribe.
Like, comment, subscribe. We are going to segue into just a Traitors recap.
Were there
Trial.
tweeters? Trials?
Trial. I can't even say it like
I
Mora.
no, you do tink really well. I
I
think
think
they're
I
tweeters. I
think
can't do
there's
it.
3 traitors. I think there's 3.
Tweet tweet
Yeah.
tweeters.
Anywho, it's a very unfortunate accent, Mora. You're beautiful, like the most
I
beautiful human being I've ever seen come across my television, but the accent
it's
is
so unfortunate.
so
Like,
unfortunate.
God bless whatever region of the UK she's from, but I could not live there.
What did
If they all talk like that, it's so bad.
Alex said the correct area? Was it Welsh? Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Maybe.
I don't know. But
Gorgeous woman,
gorgeous
uh,
woman.
but there were tweet traders.
There
We
was
think.
2. She thinks that there was just 1 traitor,
We
and
at
it
the
was
end.
Eric. But she didn't know that love her
Love of her
lover,
life.
her
I
castle lover was a traitor.
I here's my hot take. Excellent, best season of Traders. Rob, amazing, amazing trader. He deserved to win. He outsmarted them all.
For sure.
I was very disappointed in Tara and Johnny the prior episode when they kind
Ugh,
of immediately shut down at the round table about going after Rob and left Natalie out
so
to dry.
frustrating.
I love them. They're amazing, but like,
I was shaking my fists into the air. I was like, "You
you
idiots!
guys finally had it right and you
You
backed
had
down.
it right and you fucked it up. You
I
screwed up."
know. It
Oh,
was,
what a
uh,
finale, though. We were all together as a group and we were screaming at the TV. But so the last final, was it 5?
yeah.
Was
There, yeah.
Tara, Rob,
Johnny,
Johnny,
Rob, Eric,
Maura, Eric.
Mora. Yeah.
So Johnny goes home, Tara goes home. And that was the most frustrating part was when Tara left because Tara and Maura were the last two women. And this be a lesson for Maura. Like, you never go against a girl. Like, no.
She
She
was mesmerized by Rob and his pinky promise.
his
When he
fucking
walked out of the
pinky promise.
kitchen with her, holding her hand, like,
He
picked her
grabbed
up,
her
twirled her
face. Yep.
around. Yes, the whole thing,
He had
master
her played.
manipulator. He deserved to win. What really I mean, I understand why she fell for him, obviously, but, like,
Yeah.
what really got me is just poor Eric. Like,
That broke my heart.
how did he not think after unless he truly didn't realize that the only times that Rob spoke is when A, someone was coming after him, or B, when he was getting Candace and Lisa Rinna out. Those were the only other 2 times he really had an opinion at a
That's
round
very
table,
true.
and he led the charge on them. And then those were, like, where they actually found out that they were traitors. And so it's like you saw what he did to them. You thought he wasn't going to be in it for himself at the end, like,
People just trusted him.
I
He
know, but
apparently has that face and demeanor of trust, but what I'm seeing on my screen, in which I'm not even there in person, major red flag. If a man is sitting spread out, legs out, hands behind his head, you fucking run.
run.
He
He's up to no good.
he's up to no good. My husband has done that a few times when we've been in like heated conversations. And when he thinks he's in the right, he man spreads, hands behind his head. And I say, you fucking close those legs, you take those hands off your head, and you speak to me like a human being.
They're
Because
trying
right
to make
now,
themselves bigger, and they're
oh,
asserting their
absolutely.
dominance.
I'm like, you're
Yeah.
not doing that to me. No, sir. I'm
It's
going
like
to
when they
walk
say when
away.
you see, like, a bear or a mountain lion in the wild and you have to, like, make yourself really big.
For sure.
That's what they're doing.
Yeah. No, no, sir.
Well, bitch,
So,
I am a mountain lion, and I will come for you, okay?
ooh,
We'll
okay.
take you down,
Ooh.
and not in a good way.
Don't tempt me with a good time.
Well, not you, I was referring to the man,
I know.
the menfolk.
The menfolk. Yes, she
The
will take you
menfolk
down.
will take you down,
She will. It's
as my
scary.
husband learned this past weekend.
Yeah. But that should be a dead giveaway for anyone out there.
Mhm.
If a man starts man spreading and is quiet,
Man eagling.
yes, he's up to no good. Okay? Do
No,
not
can't be
trust him.
trusted. He thinks too
Cannot.
highly of himself, and he has ulterior motives,
Exactly. Exactly. But the name of the show is Traitors,
and he
and
deserved to win.
he was that. We were screaming at the TV during that final roundtable when Eric threw his whatever into the line of fire and it turned green. Mara and Rob's, they turned red because they wanted to continue the game to eliminate Eric.
Yeah.
We were screaming, yelling. These are the biggest idiots I've seen on television. The final five. Like, I'm sorry, love them as individuals, don't know them, but if this ever comes across your desk or your phone, like,
We love
I'm
you
so
as
sorry.
people.
We
You
love you
seem
as
like
people.
great people. You are great entertainment. Idiots.
But these were the biggest losers of losers I've ever seen on TV. And
But that's the
Rob,
only reason Rob won is because
yes.
he was smart and, like, bringing
Mhm.
the losers to the finale with him.
Yes, he knew who he could manipulate. He knew who did not have a backbone and who he could like override at the round table.
This is
And
manipulative
yeah,
leadership traits.
manipulative. Yep, that's someone you
Manipulative.
don't want to work for.
No.
Go off and be
They
on
will
your
use
farm,
you
Rob.
and then
Yes,
move on.
exactly. So during that moment in time, I get a phone call from the studio line, and it's the security phone number, the security
Mm.
system. And the only reason it would go to my phone is if Katie and Garrett are not answering. And obviously they're not. Like, we're all yelling at the
Yeah. My
television.
phone was on silent.
And I pick it up. I'm like, hello. And everyone in the room is like, you fucking idiot! Is
I
going
did not
off.
even know this happened.
Yes. And they're like, hi, this is ADT security service. You're like home at one, and it said the location of one of the studios. And they're like, we're just making sure everything's okay. I'm like, let me check the security cameras real fast. And like all you could hear is everyone in the room like saying, you losers. Oh my God. And I'm looking at the camera. I'm like, yeah, no, everything looks fine. And they're like, okay, what's the password? And that's when I turned to you, Katie. I was like, what's the password for the security? And you said it. And I was like, okay. And like, all right, well, have a good night. I'm like, thanks.
Like, this woman's being murdered right now.
Yeah, it's so funny. Eh, yeah, that's what happens when you work for a business that's open every day,
Yeah.
364 days of the year.
I got another call on Friday. We were like sitting out on the patio day drinking as one does on vacation.
Yes.
And it was the landlord and
Yeah.
for the other studio, and I answered and she was like, "Hi, our insurance inspector showed up. We're so sorry. We didn't know she was coming today, whatever, but she's getting a little bit of resistance from your staff
Crazy.
about inspecting. Like, would you mind calling them and just allowing her to enter?" And I was like, "Well, if there's a class in session, she can't go in. Like, I'm not sure what time it is right now. I'm in a different time zone, whatever, but I'll look into it." Meanwhile, I get a text from the teacher that was teaching during that time. The class was over, but she was like, "Hey, there's like this crazy woman here. She's like screaming at us." Um, so I'm still on the phone with the landlord. I was like, "Oh, actually, I just got an update from my staff," and I read her the text messages. And then I was like, basically, the sales associate was helping set up a prospect, like on a membership or helping someone check out something at like she was helping someone, a customer.
Yeah.
So she had whatever. So I hang up. I message the staff, like, just let her in. I'm like, whatever. Meanwhile, Ava is sitting next to me. I was like, pull the footage. She does. And this woman is unhinged.
Unhinged.
She refuses to wait. She yells at a customer. Like, she's got to be drunk or something, or like having a mental episode. She is the insurance inspector, but not anymore because I sent the footage to our landlord and I said, "This is entirely unacceptable. My sweet little perfect sales associate was helping an actual customer of my business, which supports me paying rent to you guys. Um,
Mhm.
this lady refused to wait. She very kindly said, "Ma'am, I'll help you in just a second. I'm just helping this customer. I'll be with you in just a minute." And screaming at her, saying she's going to call her boss. She needs to talk to her boss. Like, w pacing around the studio, like, completely unhinged, and so the landlord actually sent a really nice email back, like, apologizing. They sent that footage to the insurance company, said that this woman is not allowed back on site anymore, like, whatever, but it was a wild weekend. It always happens when we're gone.
It always happens when we're gone and when we're together. Something is bound to happen at
It's bound to happen.
the studio front. And this is another reason why you need security cameras in your studio for these specific reasons. You need to be
We
able to
had
pull up the footage.
It's also just not only for, like, theft, security, general reasons, but we had members and staff complaining about a particular teacher once. And so we wanted to verify that the complaints were valid. So we went on the security camera and we watched what happened. And it was exactly as it was described to us. And so we had written her up for it. And she's talking to, like, I think it was your sister, or your sister was working and she was talking to someone else in the lobby or something. Something happened saying,
That's
"Oh,
so
they're
funny.
just watching me on cameras the whole time." I'm like, "No, we watch when something is reported to us and we need to
Mhm.
validate the information. Like,
Yeah.
that's what it's there for." We have we have reality TV to watch. We don't have time
I
to
don't have
sit
time
there.
to
We have
watch
jobs.
you
We're
sit
not
at a
watching you
desk.
on camera all day long.
No, when things come across my desk and come to my attention that need verification, that's where I'll go.
Yeah. Otherwise, we're not there to spy on you.
No.
No.
No, no, no. But
Anyway,
Traitors, what a great
so
season.
good. Fantastic. Alan Cumming, 12 out of
Wow.
10. No notes.
He deserves an Emmy if he
I think they
hasn't
win.
already.
They've won like multiple, I think, but
Good.
he deserves another one.
Yeah. I don't know why he didn't do the reunion. The reunion was like a nothing burger. It
It was too short,
it
first of
was too
all.
short,
So I feel
and
like they were just like rushing it along.
I needed more from Maura and Rob. Like, that was
Mm.
the biggest betrayal.
You could tell though, I love it though, because you could tell that the housewives are trying to treat it like a housewives reunion, like
For
Lisa
sure.
Rinna bringing up like Colton and his stalker past, which allegedly he stormed off set and the only way they got him to come back is like no one was allowed to bring it up. But it's like the housewives are gonna dig. You know what I mean? Like that's what they're there to
Yes,
do. Um, so but it was funny watching like Andy try to like wrangle them plus like non-housewives.
for sure.
The
I
reunion was a little bit of a bore though.
Yeah, I heard this on another podcast, and they reviewed this reunion, and specifically Colton, but they compared to it's not allegedly or anything, there's records. He had a restraining order because he was, stalking his ex-girlfriend and put a tracker on her car, and this was after they had broken up, and he was basically canceled because of this. But there needs to be, like, a fine line of who we're allowing on our TV screen and who we're firing, because let us
Yeah.
not forget Love Island, Sierra being just, like, disappeared because of a post she had from, like, years ago that she had apologized for, like, then or something, but
I think the problem with Sierra is she, like, doubled down on it and posted
okay.
multiple times after people told her it was problematic.
Yeah.
Colton's behavior is, like, physical and, like, actually legally
Yeah.
bad. Sierra's was more of a bad, like, I frankly forgot. I mean, Colton was canceled for a while. I just don't know how he reappeared. Like, I honestly totally forgot. It was, like, several years ago. And then he did disappear for a while.
He
I
came
think
back when he came out. He had, like, a
yeah, but
whole
even I
docuseries.
really? I never watched
Mhm.
it.
I
I
watched
had
it.
not had his name in my brain since from when he got originally got canceled to showing up on the Traitors, and I honestly forgot about the whole stalking thing because it was so long ago.
I will never forget Justice for Cassie Randolph.
Yeah, no, he should have never been cast. He and then to have him what I didn't like is in the reunion, he was, like, painting himself as, like, a victim, like, "This was a really hard time in my life," and I'm like, "Your life?
Yeah.
Like, you tortured mentally your ex-girlfriend, and this is a hard
Yeah.
time for you?" Like, there was no accountability, which I found really
No.
problematic,
But
but
he did have a very good comeback to Lisa Rinna when he was like,
he did.
Well, you told me that you'd slit my throat at the round table, so"
Yeah. Some of them had like, Rob had a really good snapback at Candace too. I forgot, like, exactly what she said, and he was basically like, "Well, you did it to yourself," or something like that, like, how she got
Yeah.
eliminated and, um, basically talked herself into getting eliminated or something like that, but some of them had
Yeah.
some good snapbacks to the housewives, but you can't match a housewife at a reunion, it's just not gonna happen.
You can't.
These women are
And
trained for this.
my favorite part, though, was Portia saying that she was, like, the leader or something of the Faithfuls, and Andy was like, "Who gave you that title?"
Like, you got eliminated, like, the first episode or something
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm glad she felt like she was the leader of the Faithfuls.
for a day.
Yes. The true leader of the Faithfuls was Rob.
Absolutely. You were not the leader of the Faithfuls if you got eliminated by the Faithfuls because the majority of them voted for
Exactly.
you.
Exactly, so the
Yeah.
only true leader of the game was Rob.
Not a good leadership trait if your staff votes you out, okay?
Truly,
Truly.
truly. But, yeah, Traitors, I think it was a good season.
It was a good season. Real Mormon Wives, Secret Lives, Mormon Lives.
Secret Lives
Trailer
of Mormon
dropped.
Wives.
Everyone's back, including to me, which I find interesting. Highlight of
Yeah.
the weekend, we went to Swig.
Yeah, we did go to Swig.
We go to Swig.
Wow. We were cracked out.
Delicious. Cracked out.
Kelsey got 2 drinks.
Yeah.
And then we got pretzels. We got
They have
cookies.
really good chocolate chip cookies.
Yeah, those cookies were really good.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Highly recommend Swig.
it was quite the experience. I'll definitely be going to the Swig out here. Maybe not the drink that I got because it was heavy on the coconut.
Yours was too coconutty. Mine had a
Yeah.
little kick of coconut, but it wasn't overpowering, which I appreciated.
Yeah, it needed a little bit more lime, a little bit more zest.
Zest, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But looking forward to that. And Beverly Hills is still boring.
Yeah,
About it.
I hear it's about to pick up when they go to Europe. So hopefully.
Yeah, I'm excited for the blowout between Erica and Dorit.
Dorit.
That's going to be
Yes,
a showdown.
that is going to be a showdown. I still love my girl Dorit. Loved her since day one.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I like this energy she's bringing of the cigarette smoking in the car was iconic.
Iconic. I love it.
She is so wildly out of touch with her own life, I fear, and how she interacts with people is just it's trying too hard.
Yes. But I trust my girl Bose. And if Bose
That's true.
loves
I do like
her,
both.
then my
I think
feelings are correct.
yeah. We'll see.
Amanda was not in this last episode at all. She was nowhere to be found.
Well, so there was a rumor that she had quit mid filming because no one would film with her, or she didn't want to film with them or something. And then she went online and said that that wasn't true, but then she wasn't in this entire episode. So I'm guessing there was some sort of a pause in her filming, if I had to speculate.
Nuts. What
It was
about her?
interesting she wasn't in the episode at all, but she was on the Watch What Happens Live the night that
Yes.
episode aired.
Yeah, she was. I didn't watch it, but I've been seeing little clips.
Yeah.
What about her manifesting her pink Barbie dream house?
It,
Watching the dolphins.
it worked for her, I guess. Good for you.
That's great.
No comment.
No comment.
There is something I think to manifesting in that if it makes you actually work harder to get where you want to go,
For sure.
but just being successful on hopes and dreams is not going to get you there. That's my 2 cents.
Unfortunately not. You gotta hustle,
Yeah.
honey. You
You
gotta
gotta
hustle.
hustle, honey.
And you can have that in the back of your mind as you hustle, okay?
Yeah. This is what I want. I want my Barbie dream house to look at dolphins all day. This is how I'm going to get there. And you make a plan. I think that's where
Exactly.
success comes from.
Yeah. Don't just write it down like this is gonna happen and then you wait.
I can honestly say I have not made a New Year's resolution since I was probably 12.
Okay.
I do not write down goals anymore unless it's required for work.
Mm.
And
Yeah, I don't think I do either.
that's about it. I have a general sense of what I want to do and where I want to be and what I want in my life, but I'm not sitting there journaling about it. But that works for some people and good for you. It's just not me. But journaling about it is not going to make it come true. It's not a
No.
genie in a bottle.
No, ma'am.
Sadly, that would be lovely.
I would love that. But I don't know if I would. Look how it ended up for Aladdin.
Hey, you got the girl at the end.
Yeah, but only when he was his true, authentic self on the streets.
Very true. That is excellent take. I love that because it's true.
She did not like
You
him when
can't
he had it
pretend
all.
to be. Yeah, you got to be
Prince
yourself.
Ali, Ali,
Yeah.
Ali, Ali Baba.
Baba.
On that note,
I'm gonna take a magic carpet ride to bed, and you should too.
same, sis. Same.
Well, thanks for
There we go.
joining. We are going to be back on a regular schedule, allegedly. And
We
thank
will.
you all for being here. We've got a banger episode for you next week. I'm actually not traveling besides tomorrow for work, but like personally until the end of March for spring break. So we're going to be here. We're going to be filming, bringing you lots of good
Fire
content.
content.
Ava's going to have an interesting weekend again. She's had a string of them, so we're going to keep it going. You'll find something.
I'll
Something will
find
happen to you.
something. Yeah, it naturally does when I leave
It
my
does.
home.
When you exit the house.
When I exit the house, something does happen.
We should do an interview with one of the truck drivers. I was on the phone with Ava earlier today, and I thought that her husband was like flying a helicopter in their house. I was like, what the fuck is that sound? She's like, oh, that's the truck drivers hitting the brake on the highway outside of our house. So you should go stand out there and try to interview one and just like flag one down and ask them their life story. I feel like that could be like a really good
A little
story.
spooky. It reminds me of a movie. I don't know the name of it, but someone in the ether watching this right now will know. But the truck driver goes, candy cane, candy cane.
It sounds like a scary movie, and I don't watch them, so I wrote
It
it
was
down.
pretty spooky. And so now anytime I see a truck driver, all I think about is that movie. Yeah, it'll come to me in 3 to 5 business days. But if you know that quote, just comment in the comment below.
Toodles.
Toodaloo!